Howdy folks, welcome to this week's Ag Report. We're here in Austin with the Italy FFA Ag Issues team, and we're with our Texas Ag Commissioner, Sid Miller. Kind of having a second report. Y'all may remember earlier in the year we met with the Commissioner and we talked about hemp production and some of the rulemaking and that kind of stuff. You will see later in the video the presentation that the Ag Issue team gave on hemp. So we have their teacher, Waxahachie Horton from Italy. Why don't you share with us a little bit about what took part today, what your students were doing and sharing with the Commissioner.
Alrighty, so today these 5 young ladies talked about the importance of hemp as an ag commodity in Texas. Last year we came up with this topic before the new farm bill went into effect that we could grow this legally in Texas. So last year we kind of talked about how other states use it and we should really bring it to Texas. So once that farm bill passed, we knew we could tweak some things in our script and reuse it this year and talk about, now that it's here, how can we reap the benefits from it? So we have 2 young ladies that talk about some of the disadvantages that might come from it, and then 2 young ladies talk about the advantages that come from using hemp as an ag commodity in our state and all the different products that we can use that a lot of people really don't know are out there for us, because just miseducation, that's really not out there for everyone. So these 5 young ladies wanted to bring to the table just some information for people to really know what's going on with hemp.
I'm Madeline Chambers from Italy, Texas.
I'm Brooke Maddox from Italy, Texas.
I'm Jaden Perkins from Italy, Texas.
I'm Madison Dickerson from Italy, Texas.
And I'm Andrea Galvan from Italy, Texas.
And we are here to describe the pros and cons of hemp production.
Shoes, fuel, clothing, and paper.
So you may be asking yourself, what do all these products have in common? They are all hemp-based products. Hemp is a product derived from the stem of the cannabis plant, and hemp production is simply defined as the growth of cannabis when used for fiber. However, hemp is often mistakenly categorized with another much more controversial product of the cannabis plant, marijuana. While hemp and marijuana are both species of the cannabis plant, hemp is distinguished by its lower concentration of tetrahydrocannabinol, otherwise known as THC.
What many people do not know is that industrial hemp has actually been grown around the world for hundreds of years. Over time, hemp has become a valuable agricultural commodity in over 30 countries where its stalk, seeds, and flowers are being processed into multiple products, including cosmetic products, animal feed, fiber, textiles, paper, construction, insulation materials, beverages, and even food.
As shocking as it may seem, hemp is not only edible, but it is quite healthy too. Hemp is high in essential fatty acids and amino acids, which are important to our daily diets. Hemp seed is considered to be one of the most nutritious superfoods known to man because it is made up of the ultimate balance of omega-3 to omega-6. In addition to this, it is packed with protein and is wheat, soy, and gluten-free. Hemp also contains 66% of the bioactive protein intestine, which is a protein used to produce antibodies. That is more than any other plant on the planet.
Hemp is the ultimate cash crop, producing more fiber, food, and oil than any other plant. Not only that, but the global industrial hemp market size is expected to reach $10.6 billion by the year 2025. The U.S. hemp industry alone produced $820 million in revenue during the year 2017, with over $1 billion growth during 2018, and an expected 14% compound annual growth rate through 2022. With having multiple uses, it is no surprise that there has been a recent increase in the demand for hemp.
Good afternoon. My name is Jaden Perkins, and here with me today are Madeline Chambers, Brooke Maddox, Andrea Galvan, and Madison Dickerson. We are here today to represent the 2019 Agricultural Issues Forum topic, hemp as an agricultural commodity in Texas. My teammates and I all agree that it's our duty to find new ways to improve the ag industry for our growing population. This morning, Madeline and Brooke will represent the positives associated with hemp production, while Andrea and Madison will represent the potential weaknesses.
Being from a rural community that is surrounded by many crops such as cotton, corn, and many different legume hays, what will we do? Are we going to follow the trend and see the possible benefits our state can reap from this up-and-coming cash crop, or will we stick to more traditional methods and crops? This past year, pilot programs were approved in all states, whereas before only certain states were participating in this controversial cash crop to further investigate the practical advantages to hemp production. A pilot program is defined as a small-scale preliminary study conducted in order for an organization to improve upon before the performance of a full-scale research project.
So, can anyone have one of these pilot programs to allow them to grow industrial hemp?
No, Jaden. The process of beginning one of these pilot programs actually requires multiple levels of authorization. You must first apply through the USDA and be approved by your state, with many states having very different qualifications and rules for these programs. With job and research opportunities popping up left and right, how can we not take a step back and look at all of the agricultural advancements industrial hemp has brought to other states and think about what it could bring to us in Texas.
With many crops such as corn and cotton, we start to see environmental impacts that happen to our land and soils over time. Is this something that happens with industrial hemp as well?
Jaden, I'm so glad you asked that because that is one huge factor that separates industrial hemp from many other crops. Hemp leaves one of the smallest environmental footprints compared to many other crops, and is actually very good for crop rotations. It is also less susceptible to wind damage than many other plants. On top of that, when asked can we grow this crop in Texas, it is actually proven that the soils we grow corn in are exactly the same as what one could successfully grow hemp in.
Now that we've heard the positives associated with hemp production, Andrea and Madison, will y'all represent the potential weaknesses?
Of course, as great as having hemp pilot program in U.S. sounds, we must realize all of the necessities needed for this crop to successfully be grown in the state of Texas, outside of the additional regulations required by state and local governments. To achieve an optimum hemp yield, twice as many nutrients must be available to this crop up until the day it is finally removed from soil at harvest. Compared to crops such as corn and cotton that are grown in a very own community of Italy, that require them less than half of what is needed for a successful hemp yield.
At what point do we ask ourselves, are these products worth the time? Once approved by your state to begin a pilot program, you must then begin to follow a very strict process to even be allowed to start planting. On top of that, you are only allowed to grow on a certain amount of land. For example, South Carolina's General Assembly passed legislation only allowing 40 permit holders for the entire state, with each permit holder being allotted 40 acres. After that, each permit holder is charged $2 per acre of hemp. At what point do we ask ourselves, are we spending more time and money on this product than what we could be getting by sticking to what we already know and grow here in the Great Lone Star State?
So, is it true that hemp requires a minimum of 20 to 30 inches of rainfall during its growing period?
Yes, and that actually brings up another concern. Not only does hemp require a minimum of 20 to 30 inches of rainfall, but irrigation is necessary if precipitation is less than adequate. Not only does it take 20 to 30 gallons of water, but just to produce 1 kilogram of dry fiber of this product, it must receive 80 to 130 gallons of water. Living in a state that does not receive a consistent amount of rainfall, this is something farmers and landowners will constantly have to monitor and spend time and money on to make sure this plant receives everything that is needed to survive.
During the summer, we see crop dusters spraying crops around our community. Is this something that happens with hemp as well?
That actually brings up a last worry about the amount of diseases that can affect this crop with over 90 species of fungi attacking cannabis. Seedlings can be infected by damping off, with the flowers and leaves also being vulnerable to the gray mold, yellow, brown, and oil leaf spots.
When determining if hemp is the answer to aiding many of our industry struggles, the response is still unclear. One thing we know for sure is that in a world that has grown and changed for centuries, it has become clear that the agricultural industry does not need more land, water, feed, or animals, but instead more innovation. The benefits and disadvantages of hemp production have an unprecedented opportunity to change the ag industry and many of our everyday necessities. But now it is up to you to decide how you feel about hemp as an agricultural commodity in our state.
Commissioner, it was a good presentation that they gave. They had pros and cons. Thoughts on?
Well, it was a good presentation. Of course, we always enjoy hosting these FFA teams and Ag Issues teams when they come by. We put as much pressure as we can on them. See, we got to get them prepared and get them honed and nice and sharp for the contest. So when is the contest?
Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, y'all are ready. I think they're ready. I think they had a great presentation, very informative. I think the group with the guidance of their advisor wrote the script and researched the information. So this is going to be a unique, probably no one else will have a presentation like this. So I think they're going to turn some heads and do just fine.
I agree. Well, we want to wish y'all good luck on your competition Saturday, and thank y'all for sharing with us. Y'all take care now.